Right. Oh, you got some good toys. Yeah, you do. So for Mr. B, for his next video, I figured we'd drag out some toys and of course his cot bed that he loves. I brought out the bigger cot bed because I know Mako and Miss H are on the bigger side. So they needed plenty of space. Mr. B doesn't quite need one this big, but he's loving it anyways. So I figured we bring out some toys so that he can have some fun if he wants to. Because we can talk a little bit today about using toys as reinforcers. I'm not sure if he'll be willing to do that. That might be something you might have to work on at home. Simply for the fact that just like with food, sometimes you do have to build up the idea that the food is a reinforcer or something that can be really, really, really fun. Some puppies are not food motivated. Mr. B luckily is very food motivated, being a typical Labrador, of course. They're hungry, hungry hippos. But you sometimes do have to play a little bit with a lure or a reinforcer in order for them to build up a lot of drive for it. So there are sometimes with puppies that you might even use a lure as a play toy as a way to build up some engagement. He's like, where to go? Ready? Find it. Nice job. You can go find it. You can kind of play with their lure a little bit by also making it really exciting and really engaging. He's like, no, but you can also make it really fun, really exciting, and play with them a little bit with it. So it's not just a boring food lure. So that's one way that you can work on building your food drive so that your lure is super fun to follow. But if your puppy really likes to play with toys, maybe he'll come over here and grab one of these bad boys. But say he was doing like a nice sit behavior, you're gonna kind of get really engaged with them. So when you're playing, you've got to play with them. You got to get engaged and get really into it, because otherwise, if we're just kind of standing here like a lump, it's not very exciting. So that's why playing with these kinds of toys that have a little rope on the end or on the longer side might be a good idea, because then you're a little bit further away from their face. And then you can work on exchanging toys. Ready? Go get it. He's like, I have to run all the way over there. He's like, go bring the toy with me. Nice job. That's okay. He's like, I didn't want to bring that one over. No big deal. We'll take a break for a minute. Nice job. But when it comes to play, it's super, super important to play with your puppy. Because if you don't play with your puppy, you're not really building a relationship outside of just almost a contractual relationship, or more so a paying relationship. So instead of having like that fun playmate, that companion, that person you can go and have a conversation with and have a good time and laugh about things sometimes. Say if you're out with your friends and you're all having fun, you know, sometimes you do really weird, goofy stuff, such as you trip, you fall, and you laugh at each other. But it's the same thing when you're playing with your puppy or hanging out with them. It's always a really good idea to also have a lot of fun with them, because that is where you start to really get a lot of the response when it comes to cues and reinforcers. And that's where you start to get some natural engagement from your puppy and also voluntary engagement. So they start to really like to pay attention to you, because a lot of really fun things happen when you're hanging out with them. So with my puppy, I do a lot of play with him. So one thing that I do with my puppy that in the future at some point, I might want to do a little bit more on recording my own puppy. I might even do that in the next few days, just because I like to play a lot with my puppy on tug of war. So my puppy, I did a little bit of a demonstration of it on video, but I might have to incorporate a new person as well, just to kind of show you. But one game that I play with my puppy frequently that we started really, really young, maybe we'll have to go off camera for just a second. I'll grab a toy over here. Give me just a moment. I'll go off camera for a second. But one game that I play frequently with my puppy is the switch game. So the switch game is exactly what it sounds like. So you have a toy, you play for a little bit, you go get it, nice job. And then you have a toy similar or the same, and you say switch, and you make that one come alive, and that one you go play with, go get it, nice job. And you switch between the two toys. Obviously, if they're both on the ground, they're fair game, not a big deal. You can be very, very unique, like lenient with this. That's the word I was looking for. You don't have to be super strict. because the whole idea is to make it really, really fun. So you can see he's like, whoa, it's moving again. Nice job. Nice job. He's like, I like this game. He's like, I like to play tug. He's like, this is so much fun. Nice job. You can get into it with them, play tug a little bit. You're like, wow, so exciting. And this is my favorite thing to do. So if I act like a weirdo, excuse me, please. But this is my favorite thing to do with the dog. Get it? Nice job. Is to play this game. Switch. And it might even get them really good at dropping the item out of their mouth, relinquishing things if that's really hard, which obviously for Mr. B, get it? He seems to have a hard time with that. Ready? Oh, he's like, I beat you to it. He's like, I really like this one. Wow, that's so much fun. Wow, go get it. Nice job. Ready? Switch. Make it really fun, really exciting. Ooh, he's like, hang on. He's like, I just really like this toy. Get it? Nice job. Nice job. What a smart boy. What do you got? You got a toy? Nice job. Ready? Find it. And then you can give him a break. So that's just a little bit of a play session. Obviously, that whole time, I wasn't blabbing a whole heck of a lot. But that's just kind of what I do when it comes to play with my dog, is I incorporate some cues, some new markers, as well as just different ways to engage with me. Nice job. Do our place behavior for a little bit, though. Give him a bit of a break. He's tired now. Apologies if he's really tired today. He's playing with the puppies, and he's also playing with me. Nice job. But that switch game, you can play with 2 people even. So I will, like I said, I'll have to record a video of myself doing it with my puppy because we've been doing it for so long now, ever since he was really little. And I may or may not have stolen this from Denise Fenzi, which is a trainer that I follow very, very closely. She does Mondio ring, bite sports with her dogs. So she has to get them really good at grabbing an object in their mouth and then releasing it very, very quickly, almost instantaneously. And this is one method that she uses in order to teach her dogs how to switch between a decoy who's in the body bite suit and a toy. So it's one way for her to work on recall, just getting her dog back to her. But you have to build it as in like that cue, that word switch is really, really, really fun. And a lot of really fun things are about to happen if you run back towards me. So one thing that I typically do with my puppy with this game, which obviously you can always do this in a different space, I'll be at the training center. I'll be on one side of the room versus my boyfriend will be on the other side. He's usually my go-to like extra person to help out, even though, you know, he's not the biggest dog person, but he is now. He doesn't get much of a choice now that his girlfriend's a trainer, of course. But yeah, I'll give you a break for just a second. He's like, I'm exhausted, lady. What the heck are you making me do? But when we're playing the switch game, I'll have my puppy start by playing an intense game of tug with one of us, doesn't matter who it is. And then the other person will keep their toy behind their back. Because the whole point of the switch is that you're supposed to make the toy that they're playing with after you say that word completely dead. So the toy becomes still, it becomes boring. You can even drop it. And then when you say switch, the whole idea is to make the toy that you have behind your back, make that one really interesting, come to life, even if that means you run around like a maniac to be like, wow, look at this cool new toy I have over here instead. But the idea is to get the dog to drop the toy that's in his mouth already and run over and grab that toy. So my puppy will literally play ping pong with him. My boyfriend will have him be playing tug. I'll say switch from all the way across the center. My puppy lets go of that toy and runs over to me, normally flings his whole entire body at me, and I have to catch him using the tuggy toy. Or my body. He likes to body slam as well, always an option. But he will fly down to the center to me, start playing a rigorous game of tug-of-war with me as well, and then my boyfriend will say the same thing. He'll say switch, my toy becomes dead, his becomes live, and we kind of play a back and forth game like that. So that is a very good way to build some kind of recall even. If your puppy really likes to play out and about, if they're not comfortable to play, no big deal, but you can always practice. But that's how play can kind of become a very valuable tool that you can have rather than just reinforcement for these guys. And especially with Mr. B, I kind of wanted to dedicate a little bit of time playing because he seemed like he would have been very willing to do that for me today. But what do you say, sir? I think that's a good video. I think we're all done. Nice job.